Toejam and Earl are back after a pretty long hiatus with Toejam and Earl back in the groove. But is this one a funky fresh game that can't be beat, or should Toejam and Earl just hurl this one into the trash? Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove is the fourth game in the Toejam and Earl series, and while I do like the sequels to the original Toejam and Earl, the original was always by far my favorite. While it feels like every week now I'm playing an indie game that has roguelike elements with randomizations and permadeath, Toejam and Earl was one of the first games that introduced me to some of those elements. While I don't think this new version is perfect, I do think that fans of Toejam and Earl, the original back on Genesis, are going to adore Back in the Groove. Like the original, you have two styles of play. You have the fixed world as well as the randomized world. There's also a tutorial world and then a hardcore difficulty for the randomized world as well included. You will have to play a little bit of fixed first to unlock randomized, but it really works as a way to kind of introduce you to the controls and get you back into the Toejam and Earl groove. There is a little bit of a story, but basically Toejam and Earl, and this time their girlfriends, Letitia and Lawanda, join them in going to Earth, and they crash land, and you have to get the pieces of their ship together in order to get back to Funkatron. Yes, that same exact premise from the original is back here, but the game is really not about the story. It's about exploring the Earth-like planet and going up the various levels and trying to get all the pieces of the ship. The characters play mostly the same, but they do have a little bit of different statistics, and you are able to level up and gain some new stat points as you go through the game. You'll start on level 1 of the planet, and your goal is to explore. You'll pick up presents, deal with the various Earthlings. This time around there's a lot of fun ones, some returning ones as well. These will all stop you, and they do a variety of things. Some just kind of poke you and knock you out of the way. Other ones will come up to you and swap all your presents for other random presents, and other ones will just try to stop you, taking away chunks of your health, doing more and more damage with tougher and tougher enemies the farther you end up progressing in the game. The presents are randomized each time, with a question mark for each present the first time you get it in that particular run. These all range from different things like increasing or decreasing your health, giving you new abilities like the ability to fly or use spring shoes. A lot of these are the same from the original, but there are some new additions as well. For example, there is a new element to the game in dark levels where you won't be able to see quite as well, but you can get items to help you see. A new addition to the game is the inclusion of little mini-games that you can play with certain characters on certain levels that you'll be able to get some experience and earn some money. These are really just a nice little distraction, don't really add a ton to the game, but I'm glad they were included. You start off the game with only a handful of lives, and when they do run out, it is game over and you'll start again. The game isn't exceptionally long, though, because of this. There's 25 levels for you to travel through, and as long as you gather all the pieces, by the time you get to level 25 and gather the last piece, you'll be able to complete the game. My initial run, sadly, was only about 2 hours. However, it's the randomized, and especially randomized hardcore, that's going to keep me and other Toejam and Earl enthusiasts playing for a long time. There's also some secrets and unlockable characters, some of which are pretty fun to play as. The graphics in the game, though, I thought were great. I love the style of all of the characters included and the world. I also like as you're going up, you can see the other levels that you've already completed below. Just really cool the way they kind of did this, as well as the soundtrack is also great. And last but not least, the game features both local and online co-op, and there's a variety of different presents and stuff that can help out when you're doing the co-op play, so there's a lot to enjoy here. From the technical side of things, though, the game ran fine. I didn't run into any major glitching or crashing. Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove is available now for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC for $19.99. It does feature a Platinum Trophy on the PS4. Overall, I was pretty happy with Back in the Groove. The gameplay is very much what I was hoping for in a new Toejam and Earl game. In a lot of aspects, it feels more of like a remake than a true sequel, but there is a lot of cool things included, like the unlockable characters, multiplayer, and the graphics and music are great, so there is a lot to love, even if it felt a little bit shallow. With everything said, I'm going to be giving Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove an 8 out of 10. That's going to wrap up this review, though. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.